good evening, everybody, and welcome to Simply Spooky. Hello, Viv.
Hello.
How are you doing? How are you doing over there in the United States of America?
Oh, yesterday I was knackered, but today I feel okay.
Really?
Good. We
feel all
thought
right?
we was going to get surprised last night on things.
How did it go?
All
Yeah,
right,
good.
yeah.
It was
Well, we
all right.
think it did. The people who watch might think have other ideas, but we think it did. Anyway, good evening, everybody, and welcome to Simply Spooky. I was going to say it's just me and Jamie tonight, but Viv's here. I don't know how long she's going to stay. She might be in and out. Who knows? But she's on, and you can see that it looks like she's broadcasting from the space shuttle there, but she's not. She's actually in the
I'm on
United
my
States of
phone.
America. She's not. She's in Oregon at the moment on a phone, and she's kindly
hear you.
offered to come on and just have a bit of a chat. So is it all right, Viv? Is everything all right over there? Oh, where's Jay gone?
Where's Jamie gone? Oh, hang on. I'm going to open you wide. Hang on.
Go on.
That's better.
Is that all right? Where's Jamie gone?
Yeah.
Where's Jamie? Jamie, come back, Jamie. I don't know where Jamie's gone.
Oh, that's better. Oh. Sorry, I'm not used to this phone. Oh God, where's the camera? Oh God, I'm better off that way.
Thank you, Lois. Bless you, sweetie. Thank you.
Hi, Lois.
She's been cracking the whip. Lois has been cracking the whip and making sure
I told her.
Hi, Mary.
I told Lois to keep an eye on you.
She needed to. Somebody needs to keep an eye on me. This power's gone to my head, Viv. The power's gone to my head.
Oh, I'm just sitting in my old brain.
He knows what it is, Mary. He knows how badly we did last night, and he's trying to get away before Viv tells him off.
I don't know where he's gone.
Yeah, he did get cold feet. Hang on. There he is.
You got to add him back in.
I'm in.
Where did you go? Where did you go?
I don't know what happened. My phone like buzzed out, and then I couldn't hear you. So I thought, well, I'll come back out and then come back in, and then it would let me in. Oh,
Hi,
bye,
William.
Viv.
Where's Viv gone?
She's gone.
I don't know. It's in and out tonight.
So I don't know what was going on, but yeah.
Hi, Wayne. Hope you're okay,
Hi, Wayne.
buddy.
So yeah, that's
no
why
idea what's
I
going
went,
on
mate.
tonight. It's playing Merry Larks. He's playing tonight, but hopefully Viv will come back on at some point soon. And she's back. I have no idea what's going on here. Are you two plotting this between you to make me look a fool? Not that I don't need you lot to help me make me look a fool. I can make myself look a fool.
Mate, you've done all right. You've done all right, son.
No, I was just fiddling and I lost it, so it's my own fault.
Oh, you're all right. Stop fiddling. What did they tell you about fiddling?
I was fiddling.
I was told it makes you go blind.
I thought, what does this button do? And I pressed it, and everything disappeared.
So we've got a few tonight. We've got Lois in tonight. We've got Mary. We've got Mr. William Southey, and we've got Mr. Wayne Seaton. So hello, guys.
William and Wayne.
Hope you're doing well.
And
no,
Mary
I
and
haven't
everyone.
got cold feet.
I've already told Mary you were frightened you were going to get told off.
Yeah, I will do when Viv gets back.
Oh, nice one, Wayne. Excellent, mate. Keep us drafted on that. We need to have a word with you about that.
Well, actually, I have been actually writing a little bit more for my book, which is 3 years in the making.
That's right.
So I did a little bit more writing. Oh, come out here. Come out here.
Okay.
Look who he's
Hello, William.
here.
Hello,
William.
Greetings. How is everybody?
How you doing?
Very well, thank you. She hasn't killed me yet, so that's a good thing.
There's still time.
And I haven't poisoned her yet with my food, so good too.
God, the food's been amazing.
Good.
I can imagine.
Yeah, she likes my chili better than she likes my prime rib.
Yes.
I'm not sure if I should be flattered or horrified, but
I loved it.
A bit of both, I think.
Yeah.
Did you, Dan? Did you speak to? Did you say to Viv what happened last night about the lady?
No, I'll talk to her when she gets back. I'll talk to her when
privately.
About that.
Yeah, I only just seen Lois's message.
Yeah, I'll talk to her later about that one, mate. So, good evening, everybody. We are talking about, who was it? It was Mary. You asked, what are we talking about today? Well, just having a general chit chat, but we're actually going to talk about the technical side of ghost hunting, or what is classified
before you
as the
do,
technical.
before you
Go on.
do, I noticed, Dan, you've had a haircut.
I have had a haircut.
I've had
Happy
a shave.
haircut day. Happy haircut.
I've had a
Do you remember
shave.
when
I
you were in
had a
school and
haircut.
all the kids would go, haircut, haircut?
Haircut. Haircut.
Oh, interesting. I'll have to read all these manuals that people have got going on.
Hi, Von.
So, yes, so we were going to talk about the technical side of, well, I say technical side of ghost hunting, the techie side of it, the sort of stuff that people spend all their money on, that lights up, buzzes, and does everything that, well, does nothing that it says on the tin, and how people are convicted to buying this stuff. Now, I've bought a fair amount of this rubbish, a lot of it, over the years. And the one thing that I think I mentioned the other day, the one thing that I've learned over the years is that basic is best. That the bare minimum of kit is probably the best. And the two things I've decided that I need to concentrate and function on is the camera and the voice recorder. Apart from that, I don't think any of this stuff is fit for purpose. I mean, you know, we're now learning about things like ovuluses, and we're learning about ghost boxes, Frank's boxes, and all that. And of course, it's interpretation. And obviously, when you're looking for a message or you're looking for some kind of information, if it's not there, you'll grab anything to piece it together and make it up. And I think that's the problem with a lot of this kit. A lot of this kit is just not fit for purpose.
A lot of the time, Dan, I don't think people know how to use it in the way that it was designed for as well.
No, I think the thing is, as well, with that, yeah, that's it. I think with a lot of that, yeah, exactly, Wayne. I think with a lot of it, it's built with obviously the energy in mind, but we don't really know that much about ghosts, what the substance of them is, what makes them up, how they work, how they're, you know, are there rules and regulations? So how can we interpret their presence by a kit that we're trying to measure something that we can't measure because we don't really know what it is? So
no, exactly. And I suppose that if you don't know how to use properly the kit you've got, how can you detect that you've got something? You know, it could be a blip with the machine, or do you know what I'm saying? It could be either end. Until you know that machine inside out, upside down, then you need to, you know, then that's when you can start playing with it, kind of thing, you know.
I think that is it, but I think that the idea that I have is this stuff is built with no context, because it's built and designed for something that you can't measure, or you don't really know what the substance of it is. It's all supposition.
Yeah.
So I've seen a lot of this stuff. Oh, we use this with great results. Yeah, no, that's fair enough, William. That's fair enough. Yeah, it's gimmicks. I think a lot of it is gimmicks, and so I don't really subscribe to buying any of that stuff. I mean, I've bought more than a fair share of it over the years. Yes, I've been a sort of a tech head, as it was considered at one point, but I have learned that, and of course, your natural abilities, you know, your own energy can read an environment better than any piece of kit can. So you know when something's going to go off. You know when.
For example, look what happened last night.
You had it last night, didn't you? When we went off here last night, Jamie had it was a dog ball that ran sort of rolled across his doorway, but the dog was laying down asleep. So yeah, it's an odd one. So Lois says,
I like my kit. I do like my kit.
There's nothing wrong with it. There's
But I cheat with mine for certain reasons, because I'm a spiritualist medium, as you know. But my kit, I have spent years pulling it apart, understanding it. How does it work? The science behind it, what's in it, can I use it to the best? It's not a communication tool. Whoever thinks that you can communicate with spirit with a K2 needs their head kicking in, to be honest, because that's not what it's designed for, and that's not how you use it. You're just
No.
giving yourself false readings. You're giving yourself, and it's so easy to.
I agree with that.
You have to learn how to fake your own equipment, so you know what the flaws are.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't even bother with that anymore, Dan.
No,
They just
no.
they want the latest piece, and then, oh, well, look at me, I've got this, so I'm wonderful.
Yeah, and you probably spend 300 quid, the best part of 300 quid, on something that's really not fit for purpose.
Yeah.
I'm not knocking people who want to use the kit. If they want to use it, that's fine.
It's up to them, yeah.
Everybody to their own. I'm not knocking that. All I'm saying is that I've learned myself, for me, that it's more about less kit and probably, like Lois said, it's more about sitting down and listening to the environment and seeing what it is. I agree.
I'm taking you with me because I'm getting ready to go out. You see, so
nice.
I'm going for a dress fitting for a Victorian outfit to do this thing that I'm doing over in the conference.
Oh, are you renting one or buying one?
No, there's a lady here that has hundreds of them, so she's agreed to let me borrow one.
That's kind of her.
Yeah, it's all right, isn't it?
So when you do see the pictures, Dan,
I will take the piss.
Well, it's a piece of equipment that is going to be used.
Hi, Carl.
So it's not tech, but it's a piece of equipment, which is my actual dress, that is going to be used in communication with spirit.
It's going to
start kicking off then because you're using the right tools, kind of thing.
Singapore experiment.
Yeah, a bit like that.
She won't be drinking, unfortunately.
Oh, my hangover was on the plane getting here, seriously.
Oh, yeah. How did it go? You're all right now, though?
I did get drunk on the plane.
Did you?
You're not supposed to, but I did.
I didn't see you on ITV being hauled off.
Well,
big young guard.
There was I sat next to a very young, lovely Korean gentleman, and we decided we were going to get pits together. So that's what we did.
Fair enough.
You corrupted everybody you meet, Viv. I bet that poor fellow was a teetotaler until you sat next to him.
I bet he was.
He was a student as well.
He spent an hour with you and started knocking them back. What was I going to say? Was he a American or British or
Korean?
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, it was from Korea. Really nice man. So I'm going to have to go, guys. So have a good rest of your show.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mum.
Carl says that's his type of flight, Viv.
Jamie and Dan, I will catch up with you privately at some point. But yeah, have a good rest of the show. It was lovely seeing you both on here.
Very nice to see you. It was a nice surprise, a pleasant surprise.
Can I have a picture of Bigfoot when you see him?
Bigfoot. Well, over here they rip people apart. Apparently, this is what I've been seeing. But anyway, it's something else. Anyway, story. I'm going to go.
All right. No problem. Take it easy. Have a nice time, Viv.
Take care.
Take care, guys.
Bye.
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 So now we are Vivless for the rest of the show.
Mother has left the building.
What?
Mother has left the building.
Mother has left the building. There you go. Have a great time, Viv. Oh, she will have a great time, Von. Don't you worry about that. We're sitting here holding the fort, and she's off gallivanting around the United States of America. Not that we're bitter.
No, not much.
But yeah, so I mean that's my. I mean, obviously everybody, if you like kit, that's great, fine. I prefer the less, the better now for me.
Yeah.
Personally, I just think that a lot of it isn't fit for purpose. It doesn't say what it does on the tin. It doesn't do what it says that it does on the tin. And overall, I think it's a vast amount of money that people waste. But other people say they've had good results with it. I don't know. So tell me what you think. I was meant to be going, but unfortunately, I had a disaster in the bathroom. There was a big water leak from the bath, and it blew the floor out. So that cost me an absolute fortune to get that sorted. but I will be going later on in the year. Oh, nice, Carl. Have a
Yeah,
great
nice.
time, buddy. Nice. So yeah, I will be going later this year, but I don't know quite because there's a lot going on at the minute.
Yeah.
A lot of equipment makes too much noise, and you can't. Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It does. It absolutely, Von. You know, and people interpret this. Well, they interpret it wrong, but people interpret it. Even if you interpret it as the way that it's meant to be set up, we don't really know if it's gauging actual spirit activity or spiritual presence.
I think kit is good. You know, like some of the big stuff. That if you're in,
Thanks, Von. It's all right. It's all right. I'm all right. I'd have only got drunk on the plane with Viv. Sorry,
that
Joe.
if
You were saying.
you're so like if you're investigating a, I don't know, like a mansion, let's say, a haunted estate home, then I think some of that stuff will be good because then you can lock it
Exactly, Carl.
in a room, and then put a camera on it. You know,
Lock off stuff. Yeah, lock off stuff is good
so you
stuff.
can just lock the room, put a camera in there, forget about it, you know, and then see what you pick up on the camera.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I revert now to a lot of the old school investigating techniques, or I haven't done, but I will be reverting to a lot of the old school techniques.
So this is what I need to learn because I've only had like K2 stuff like that.
Exactly, Wayne. It's exactly that. Yeah, but I mean, the thing is, it's a learning curve, isn't it? Because you know, the more we use this equipment, the more we find out if it works, if it works for the purpose that it's set up for, if it's just a piece of rubbish.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I mean, I learned the hard way. I bought a lot of equipment. I learned how to use it the way it was meant to be used because it's like Carl says, that's the main thing, is knowing how to use your equipment.
Yeah.
But it just didn't seem to get anything unusual or that I couldn't explain.
Yeah.
You know, I could explain it off if it's lighting up or whatever. I could always explain, or to most points I could explain that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I mean, a lot of people now, I always say, they say, well, if they're starting, what do I use? And I said, well, you know, get yourself a torch, get yourself a video camera to start with, night vision one if you can. And also, yeah, exactly. And I find that a lot with a lot of that type of equipment, Carl. I find that that's the case with a lot of that type of equipment. There are too many variables, and people misinterpret what's going on with the equipment. A, because they don't know what it's meant to be doing, and B, because it's probably doing something that it says that it shouldn't be doing. You know, it's not the easiest stuff to work with. A lot of it,
no,
especially if it doesn't do what it says on the tin.
Yeah, you got to carry more stuff for batteries and stuff.
But I mean, no, I'm saying, you know, if people like it, then use it. Don't let my interpretation of it.
No, exactly.
Like
you say, you've got everyone's got an opinion, haven't they? If you want to take it, then take it. Then
and
you've got to do.
I mean, everybody's opinion apart from mine is wrong.
Well, yeah, I fell in that one. But I know what you're saying.
No, of course.
You know,
I mean, I'm not an oracle. I haven't got the answers. But then's neither Dave, who's sitting in his shed at the bottom of his garden making this stuff. He hasn't got the answers either. It's supposition and best guess, isn't it? But
dowsing rods.
The old dowsing rods, but drowsing rods. But if that's what you like, that's what you want, then go ahead and do it. Don't let me stop you. All I'm saying is that for me, it doesn't hit the button for me.
No.
And I've noticed a lot of it as well. I mean, it's extortionate, the prices that they're charging for some of this stuff.
Yeah.
Don't use me as your guru. I'm terrible. I'm the worst guru you could have.
Well, don't start using me.
But most of them paying for it. I think they need to. I think just it's coming at it from different avenues. I think, William, it's just people got different interpretations as to You know, I mean, I know some people have had really good. They've had really good activity that they've caught with cameras and audio. Yeah, I think that's the best way, Carl. And I think that's the problem, that a lot of people, they don't know about the old school and they dive straight into this theatre that they've seen on television, and they think that that's the way that things should be carried out. And they learn very quickly. Well, a lot of them don't learn very quickly, but the good ones learn very quickly that that's not the way to be. That's not the way to approach ghost hunting, or you know.
But I heard the old film cameras are quite good for ghost hunting.
Yeah, I think. I mean, I would love to get hold of one. It was like a reel to reel, and yeah, no, you do. You do need a mortgage to get some of this stuff. I like the old reel to reel stuff. I mean, you can still get it, but I think it's quite expensive now because it's considered to be, you know, whatever nice piece of objet d'art, people keep them as just as, you know, to look at. But I'd like one of them because I think that a lot of stuff has actually been caught on tape recorders.
Yeah,
actual tape recorder, because you know the silica in the in the tape itself it can store memories and can record. So they're all right, them sugar daddies, but I've heard they melt in the rain, Lois. But yeah, that's the type of thing, you know. I mean, that's like they retain the silica in them.
Yeah,
they're brilliant pieces of kit. I must get one. They are great pieces of kit. I used to have one years ago, but I don't know what happened to it.
So reel to reel,
you know, that's the way to go, I think. Using
reel to reel is one reel there, one to the other, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a spool on either side, so you can do all sorts of weird and wonderful stuff with it. As I say, I used to have one, but I got rid of it ages ago. I wish I hadn't. But now they're a lot of money if you can get a hold of one, a decent one, a good one. But I like that. I like all that sort of analog stuff because I think there's still a lot of room for analog stuff. Even voice recorders using the tape-based voice recorders. I think
the old school tape
still a lot of room for those. I mean, if you go back to the early days of the pioneers of ghost hunting, and you look at the greats of the ghost hunting field, all of their stuff was caught on analog.
Yeah. So I've always I think I was in analog when I was growing up, but when I started it, I was in digital. You know.
Yeah. Well, exactly. Yeah, exactly. You've gone straight to digital. That's the thing. So you bypassed that era. They're brilliant, Von. They're brilliant pieces of kit. I love them. I love that old analog stuff. You know, mixing it with the modern stuff is great.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the analog stuff is a lot of this stuff, like telephones and that, originally a lot of people don't realise a lot of this stuff was actually created initially to contact the dead. And then, you know, all of a sudden, I mean, there's a big thing now, isn't there? That they're talking about telephone calls from the dead, and people are surprised that they're getting telephone calls from the dead. But this is the equipment that was designed early on for that purpose. Yeah. I bet it's a nightmare to find the new reels for it.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, catch what you catch on one, you might not catch on the other, and if you catch it on both, you're really really done well.
You got bonus, didn't you?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. But that's the thing. I think the analog stuff is good, and as Carl was saying, it's a mixture of the two. You know, if you work the two side by side, you can probably get some good results with it. But I've not used analog stuff for such a long while. Yeah, I know people have had some great. I mean, I've had some stuff, but some people have had fantastic stuff.
Yeah,
but yeah, the old-fashioned dictaphones are great. The old tape ones are good. I do prefer it. A lot of the digital stuff, I'm very bit of a Luddite, really. I'm very skeptical of how it works and whether it's
Yeah.
picking up what it should be or it's, but it's like getting to know your equipment, isn't it? It's like we were saying earlier.
Yeah.
But you've bypassed that age, haven't you, of analog? And you, because of your age, you've gone straight to the...
Yeah, because I was I'm an 84 baby. So,
Exactly.
you know, I can remember having tapes like at home watching.
Right, Wayne, take it easy, buddy. I'll speak to you soon, mate.
So that, Wayne, take care, mate. You know, like I can remember watching films on tapes, you know, tape recorders and that.
VHS
I remember
tapes.
that. And then gradually we got into CDs and DVDs and stuff. That's when, you know, I was playing tapes and that. You know, you get
and that
now
analog
40 or whatever it is.
And the analog age, just kind of got faded out, didn't it?
Yeah.
But I'd like to see people go back to using both of those sets of equipment, you know, side by side and seeing what they can get. Because I think if you did a will do, mate. Take it easy, buddy. Speak to you soon, Wayne.
You're right, Wayne. Bye, mate.
If you did a side by side and you correlated all that information, you could probably get some good data from it.
Yeah.
That's just personal thoughts.
Well, exactly like you say, is you've got your own opinion, what you like. You know, I can turn around and say,
I'm not saying I'm
like
right.
digital, you know.
I'm not saying I'm right. One stretch of the imagination. I could be so far wrong. You know, it's not funny.
Well,
but,
exactly, yeah.
But it could be right. You know, it's just I think you need to try every avenue.
Mm.
But all I'm saying is, don't go out and waste a fortune. Yeah. Yeah. That's a good point, Carl. Yeah, just don't go out and spend a fortune on some of this kit until you know what you're doing, and make sure you check the ins and outs of a duck's backside really to work out, you know, what it does and why it does it.
Yeah.
Night, Lois. Have a good week. Bye. Bye. Speak to you soon. Bye, Lois. Yeah, just don't jump the gun and spend a fortune on something before you've, you know, I mean, I like the stuff I like, as I was saying the other day, things like bells on strings, bells on strings and that type of stuff, you know, and
like trigger objects as well, you know.
Trigger objects, yeah.
You get your kid's toy, you know, and a bit of talcum powder.
Basic kit, you know. It's like I was saying, like even stuff like the black sort of the old what was it called? The old paper, the black paper, the card, almost card, thick black paper.
The thick, yeah.
Set that out with talcum powder on it. So, you know, somewhere where there's meant to be a passage, you know, somewhere where a spirit is allegedly said to pass or walk through. See if you can get anything on that. Just that type of thing, you know. And it helps you differentiate between what's real. Well, spirits are real, but it helps you differentiate between what's in the material world and what isn't. You know, so there's lots of different
avenues that you can go down, can't you?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, what were you told to use when you went investigating? First of all, what did they tell you to get?
K2, camera, voice recorder. We did take CCTV. You know, then we could have a man sitting on the CCTV watching the cameras and stuff.
Those were the days, weren't they? When he used to have a hub.
Yeah, it was like a hub, wasn't it?
Will that get you on soon, Carl? Definitely. And we'll have a chat about that. Yeah.
You know,
those were the days sitting on the hub, monitoring everything that was going on.
Having a little walkie-talkie telling them
time stamping stuff.
Yeah. But no, I think that was it really. And then, like you say, once you get more confident, and then you can go out and buy more equipment and stuff, you know,
or find somebody who's got it and ask them how they feel they've gone with it.
Yeah.
Find somebody who's actually got the equipment, because there's enough people out there that buy it. And if you're particularly enchanted, or there's a piece of kit that you think it could do the job, then find out from the person who owns it, what results they've had with it. Do they think it's worth it? Have they had any defining results that says that it does do what it says on the tin?
Yeah, exactly. But,
Otherwise,
I think it's the same in like any sport as well. Any hobby you do, I see quite a lot of it in fishing. I know it's the same kind of preference, but the fella next door, he could spend 5-6 grand on his fishing stuff. There's poor old Jay. There's got probably £1 worth of fishing stuff, and I'll catch more fish than him. So it's like you spending a couple of £100 on.
Oh, that's interesting, Carl. Oh, I'll have to pick your brains about that and find out more, please. If that's all right.
It's like you spending a couple of grand on equipment for ghost hunting, but poor old me has only got a camera on his phone, a dictaphone on your phone, and that's it.
But the thing is,
and a torch.
A lot of these phones now, voice recorders on them are better than a lot of the voice recorders that are purpose made.
Mm.
I've got a voice recorder on my phone, the iPhone, and it's crystal clear.
Yeah, mine is. Yeah,
really, really good. And it's the same with the cameras. I just wish that iPhone would bring out a camera that had a night vision app on it, not an app, but a night vision ability on it.
I've got an app, which I used last night. I think it's called SLR. I'll show you Saturday.
You're on about the you're on about the SLS cameras.
No, it says I've got an app on my phone, ghost hunting app.
Is that the skeletal tracker one?
Yes, it's an
SLS app.
That's it.
Yeah, SLS. Yeah, but it might be called. They might have called it something else.
Something else, I don't know.
But yeah,
I just saw it and I thought, that let's have a look at that. But yeah, you can use whatever, I think, in apps on phones. Like you say, you got your dictaphone.
You've got to be careful as well with a lot of this kit, because a lot of this kit can sort of, what it can do is it can triangulate where you are, or satellites can triangulate where you are,
right,
and then feed information through to the kit
that
is synonymous or relates to that area that you're doing your ghost hunt.
Oh, I never knew that.
Yeah, so you've got to be so careful. And a lot of people say, well, turn off the, if you're going to use an app or what have you, not I'm big on apps, if you're going to use apps or what have you, then you turn off your Wi-Fi signal so that you're just working off the app. But it doesn't work like that. It still triangulates. So it still sends information. And if you think with iPhones and stuff like Alexa, that when you're sitting here talking and then 10 minutes later you'll get I don't know, so for example, you're talking about going to the Seychelles, 10 minutes later your phone clocks up.
It clocks up.
It's the Seychelles. It's always listening. So it's always aware of what you're doing.
Yeah.
And that's not conspiratorial. That's not conspiracy. It actually does that.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of equipment that does it as well. Things like
I never knew that.
The Ovilus is the same. That can triangulate information.
Yeah.
So there's an awful lot of stuff out there that you think it's doing what it should be doing, but it's not. It's giving a false positive, as it were. It's telling you stuff that is relevant, but it's only because it's getting that information fed to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it would be good to see people use the old equipment. I think that'd be great,
Yeah.
And we'll probably do that. Actually.
Yeah. Do a test.
Yeah, just run some tests on equipment. Just go out and investigate, but don't investigate with the idea of filming. Investigate with the idea of testing that equipment and seeing what works and what doesn't. The old kit.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see. That's something for the future anyway.
See what happens, mate. Yeah, that'd be quite.
Yeah. But is there any bit of kit that you would like to use that you've seen out there?
You were saying about the Ovilus, is it called?
The Ovilus, yeah.
I wouldn't mind seeing that working. I've heard like yourself and Viv use it quite a bit. Just to see how it works, and it's just quite interesting how it works and how if you're going to get a good result.
Yeah.
With it,
Yeah, there's no harm in like prodding the product and seeing if it does what it should be doing.
No.
Testing it. I mean, that's what it's there for, isn't it, really?
Yeah, you've got your old spirit boxes and stuff like that. I've only used the spirit box, but there's a few more out there.
See, I'm not sold on them either. There's so much stuff I'm not sold on. The thing with spirit boxes, I think that it's open to interpretation. A lot of people hear stuff, and then what they do is it sends a switch in the brain, and
Right.
then automatically they're hearing something that they're not hearing, or they're interpreting it wrong, or they're just nicking pieces that might be relevant to them and making something out of it that isn't there. I don't know. It's which is why you really need to know your equipment. You need to know what it does and how it does it, and then look for the pitfalls. Look for those areas, those grey areas where it could be picking up information from satellites, or it could be picking up stuff from the web. You know, I know it sounds crazy, but a lot of this stuff, or quite a bit of this stuff, does that. You know, like I say, people using their phones and using apps on their phones, it just triangulates where you are, so that you sent all that information anyway.
That's quite interesting because I never knew that. I knew obviously on the phone it would trace you, but I never using an app. It would trace where you are and then start sending.
Well, a lot of people got the idea that if you turn flight mode off, that's it. It sort of makes you invisible. It's like an invisible cloaking device, but it's not.
It's not.
You
No.
can turn the phone off and they can tell exactly where you are. You know, and they've been able to do that for donkey's years now.
Even the old Nokias and that, you can still trace it.
Yeah. It's like being chipped with a phone. It's like Elon Musk said. People moan about having like chips, information chips, and that put into their bodies, but they're already sort of Android because they carry that bit of phone about.
Yeah,
they carry the phone about, and that's like, you know, becomes almost part of them then.
Yeah,
but it is an interesting subject.
It is.
But yeah, I mean, what's piece of kit have you been impressed with over the years?
Voice recorder, I suppose, and a camera.
Yeah,
we've had some good hits on the voice recorder, and phone, like camera on your phone. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I think that's the thing, isn't it? A lot of people do take that one hit and run with it.
Yeah.
When it might be just a false positive or what have you. But yeah, no, I agree, Carl. You know, it's what works for you.
But what's your
Hi, Terry? Hope you're doing well, buddy.
What's your best equipment that you've used on investigations, Dan, that I thought I could use that again?
I think it's the old adage, isn't it, that the best piece of equipment is yourself, because I believe that your body can interpret environmental changes better than any other piece, better than any bit of kit out there.
Yeah.
But if it was somebody said to me, you know, you've got one piece of kit that you're taking ghost hunting, what would you want to take? That's all you can take. Without a doubt, it would be a voice recorder, because I personally feel that the best evidence that you can probably get will be caught on a voice recorder. You know, a disembodied voice or you know, EVPs. I think that's, for me, that's the piece of kit that I would not want to be without, a good, decent voice recorder.
Yeah.
All the other stuff, you could like, I mean, cameras are great, of course they are, but I think for me, the best, your best chance, I believe, is on a voice recorder. You know, other people got different opinions, which is fine. You know, I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just saying for me, it's my favourite piece.
So what's the like limit on how much you would spend on a voice recorder?
You'd have to get a half decent one, I think. But then I've seen good results on the cheaper end as well. You know, don't be fooled by, if it's cheap doesn't necessarily mean it's crap. You know, and if you bought a good good named second-hand one, I mean, I've spent anything from a few pounds to sort of 250 quid on a voice recorder.
Wow.
But the voice recorder for 250 quid wasn't as good as some of the cheaper ones that I've had.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So you don't need to spend a fortune.
No.
Terry says, just tested 2 bits of kit Saturday night, EMF tripwire. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, the Alice. The Alice DNA. Yeah, I've seen that. And the tripwires. Yeah. I've seen the tripwires.
Are they two boxes with a beam across that? Is that
what, the tripwire?
The
tripwire's, it's like a set of. Tell me if I'm wrong or right, Terry. It's like a set of like PIR lights, and
Yep.
what they do is they're all connected to each other.
Oh, okay.
I think that is that the GMF tripwire. I think I might be wrong. I might be wrong there. I maybe thinking something else.
Yeah,
But
because
I believe they're quite expensive as well, Terry, aren't they? The tripwires. I think they're quite a bit of money. But yeah, I mean, for me, it would be all day long. It would be a voice recorder, because I think that's the route to take.
Yeah.
You know, because I've had so much in the way of EVPs over the years, but very little caught on camera.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, Viv's really good with a camera, really good. Oh, excellent.
Well, she cheats as well, didn't she?
Yeah. What do you mean? Like,
she uses her spirit, probably a mediumship with that, didn't she?
She does, yeah, but she's really good, because what she does is she'll focus on an area that she feels like she's pulled to, and then she'll
start flashing away,
flashing away. You know, literally tons
yeah.
and tons of photos, and she's picked up some great stuff over the years.
Yeah,
really picked up some good stuff. We'll have to get on here and get her to show some of her.
I saw some of her like pictures, that especially the one at Rutham. That's the first one she showed me. I was just like, wow, you know.
Yeah. Rutham is. Do you know what we were saying this the other day, Carl? They don't, do they anymore? I doubt very much many of them know what it is.
Yeah.
I doubt very much many of them know what a baseline reading is.
Baseline tests.
Yeah, they don't anymore. Unfortunately, that seems to have died a death. You pardon the pun. That seems to have sort of fell foul for some reason. And of course, that's your main starting grid.
That was one of my jobs. That was.
Yeah. Well, if you're gonna do an investigation properly, that's your main starting grid. It's like put a house, isn't it? You need good foundations. Otherwise, a house is just going to fall apart. It's not going to settle.
No,
it's just going to crumble. And that's the same with investigation. The baseline test is your base for the house. You know,
exactly.
Metaphorically speaking. But they don't, Carl. They just don't. They don't. I mean, they run around now. A lot of them run around like headless chickens, don't they? You see them on investigations, and what they're doing is they'll go off. They won't tell each other where they're going, and then what they do is they contaminate. Well, you can't take any of the evidence or readings as true, because obviously they're contaminating them. Whether it's audio or a bit of kit, you can't. It's silly. I mean, who was telling me? I think it might have been Viv was telling me she wanted an investigation, and she set out a trigger object, and then she went back. It had moved, and then she'd asked everybody had they moved it, and one of them said, "Yeah, I moved it."
Oh, what was?
You have to, mate. You have to. They don't, Terry. They don't. And I'm not knocking people. I'm just saying that they're learning off of TV. And a lot of these programs don't do baseline tests, do they? They're straight into the investigation. It's because it's for titillation, isn't it? It's just for enjoyment. It's scared.
That's what we was talking about the other night, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was,
and of course, you see a lot of this equipment. A lot of this equipment is featured on a lot of these programs. You'll see something on, I don't know,
Taps.
Yeah, or something like that. And the next thing it'll be on the market, and people will be pulling over each other to buy it.
To go and buy it, yeah.
It's good marketing, isn't it? If you've got a bit of kit, get it advertised on one of those programs, and you'll make a lot of money.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's people don't anymore, and I think it's quite sad, isn't it? That those basic rules and regulations, just the basics of ghost investigation 101. People don't
see it, I suppose.
They don't even know what they are.
No, that's it. I suppose that I've only been doing it short, like 12 years.
That's long enough, mate. That's a long time.
You know, I think it's because I haven't really had the money to go out and spend money on equipment. You know,
but you don't need to.
No, this is it.
You don't need to. That's what I'm saying. People think that they need to spend a fortune to go out ghost hunting when they don't. You know, you can do it with the basic of equipment, and a lot of people do really well with the basics.
Yeah,
basis of equipment. You know, it's more basics. But some people You know, it's like the next best thing, isn't it? It's like, you know, I've got to have the new car every year, or I've got to have this, I've got to have the update on the phone, and it's
Yeah,
like
because
not
Jimmy
always
next door's
necessary.
got the top drawer. You know, he's got one,
Yeah.
so I've got to keep up
Yeah.
with him, like, you know.
Yeah. All right, my car might not be as good as some of these new 2022 models, nowhere near it, but it still does pretty much the same job. You know, and people run away with the idea of thinking that expensive, if something's expensive, it's good. It's kind of a mind trick.
Yeah.
With people, you know, if it costs 300 quid, it's got to be good. Doesn't work like that.
No.
Yeah, absolutely, Cal. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's another thing. People don't tend to use notepads anymore. People, they don't cross-reference, or they don't go back to check times when something prevalent might have happened, or something that purportedly could be activity.
Yeah.
And then check them times against what else might be going on in that property at that time. You know,
At that
what
time,
might be environmental, because you need to really be aware of the environment, because the environment holds the key and the answers to 99% of those questions that you've got about ghost hunting.
Yeah.
You know, about what's going off. Yeah, you do. And I remember a time when you used to see these paranormal investigators, they go out with this vest on, tons and tons of equipment on it. They look like something out of Stargate. They just come down off a spaceship, and the kit's crap. It's just nonsense. How can we use stuff? We don't even know what a ghost is. We don't know what a spirit is. We don't know what it's made of. We don't, you know, I believe in it, but I can't tell people they exist because I've got no proof that they exist.
Yeah.
But I believe in them, you know?
Yeah, so do I.
believe that there is something going on. I don't know what it is, because I've got no way of measuring it.
No.
Or understanding it. And then people design these bits of kit in their garden sheds, stick a label of 300 quid on it, and say, well, it does this. If a spirit goes near it, that will happen. Well, how do you know that that's what's happening?
Yeah.
You know?
Is there a plug socket next door to trigger it off?
Yeah, exactly. Data loggers, people don't use those anymore. You know, they don't go back to using them anymore. It's madness, just the basics. You see them running around and an EMF will go off, or one of these newfangled, whatever it is, pieces of kit that they spent 200 quid on, and automatically they assume it's a spirit. Well, how do you know it's a spirit? How do we know that it's a ghost? How do we know that it's not environmental?
Yeah.
And they don't even check it out. They just assume, and they run with that. And that's not ghost hunting. That's not investigation.
No.
Because, you know, if you want evidence, then you've got to take a piece of activity and you've got to scrutinize it and pull it apart and look at it from different angles and see what, no matter how good it looks on tape or audio, you've got to try and work out, is there a way that this could be faked, or is there a way that this could be just something in the environment?
Yeah,
And once
exactly.
you've done
Yeah.
that, then maybe you've got something.
Yeah.
Absolutely, Cal. Absolutely. No, it's not. It's all done for, sadly, it's all done for titillation, Cal, I think. It's just, you know, it's just, there you go. It's all done for titillation. It's just there for effect, I think. You know, it's like when these, what's that Terry says? Oh, yeah. I've seen that. Yeah.
What's that? The ghost ball?
Yeah. That's just a cat ball. Makes me laugh. Do you think that these people, these energies, would come back from beyond, the great beyond, if that is what they're doing? If that is the case, do you think they would come from the great beyond and just flick a ball?
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
would you?
I don't
if you was
know.
a spirit?
The thing is, we don't know what these energies are, really. We don't know what they are. We don't know what they do. We don't know their abilities. We assume that they're spirits of people that are deceased, and I believe that they are.
Yeah.
I can't say that they are because I've got no definitive proof. And until we can get some idea of how it works, then I don't think that we're going to find any answers. And I don't think we're going to find any answers anyway.
No, I don't think we will.
You know, but you need to, it's fun, and the fun is in the looking, isn't it?
Yeah,
You might not
exactly.
find anything, but the fun is in looking. But I always say, revert to the old ways, the old ways of the old investigators. You know, the classic investigators,
The old school people, yeah.
like Harry Price and people like that. Revert to the way that they. I mean, Harry Price. I mean, I remember years ago, and a piece of information I picked up from one of his books actually when I was a kid. And you don't hear it anymore. And he said that what he does when he was on a house investigation, he would bring with him slippers because he could walk around the house quietly. Nothing could be heard, you know, and he could then pick up on sounds that were coming from the environment without his footsteps making noise on the floorboards. So it's just little things like that, really, you know.
Absolutely nothing for you.
But yeah, the ghost ball. Have you not seen those cat balls?
No, I haven't seen them, mate.
Light up cat balls and stuff like that. Exactly, Cal. Exactly that. Exactly that. You know? But I do like these self-described experts that you have in the field.
Yeah.
You know, what are you an expert? I'm an expert on ghosts. Well, how can you be? We got no way of
Can't
proving
prove it, no.
I believe in it completely,
Yeah.
wholeheartedly, but yes, exactly, Cal. Yeah, exactly that. Brilliant. See, those little things like that, which are priceless, Harry priceless, but little things like that, which are priceless. There's old-fashioned bits of kit. People need to go back to the old ways of doing it, I think, or at least make a mixture of the new and the old. But as for a lot of this equipment, you know, as I said, a lot of it, like phones and stuff like that, and even those ovuluses triangulate information from satellites, and it's fed straight to you, and then it's going to be synonymous with where you're investigating.
Yeah.
But yeah, if anybody says that I've got this bit of kit and it does X, Y, and Z whilst ghost hunting, take it. I'd take that with a big pinch of salt.
Yeah.
You know,
or have a word with yourself.
Have a word with yourself. Definitely have a word with yourself, because you're going to get mugged off all the time.
Well, that's it. Next thing I'd like to do is...
Yeah, and I think that's it, Terry. You've got to get. I know it sounds very hippie-ish, and you know, I'm not a hippie or anything like that, but you need to just get quiet and relax and make sure that you're concentrating and just blending in with the environment, blending in with your surroundings. You know, as I said, I'm not an expert, would never profess to be, but
no,
these are just things that I've observed over the years, and people have taught me over the years, and I've been very lucky to work with some of these ghost hunters that are no longer doing it, that were brought up in that age of.
And then they're top of their game as well, weren't they? You know,
some of them were, yeah, some of them were, but not one of them would ever profess to tell you what a ghost was.
No,
you know, it never ceases to amaze me that people try and convince you that they're X, Y, and Z, and it's like, well, what evidence have you got for that? Well, no, they haven't, have they?
Well, it's like me telling my little boy that Loch Ness is. He wants to go to Scotland to go to Loch Ness.
Oh, it's beautiful.
So we can go and see the monster. I said, well, good luck on that. If you see it, you know, do you know what I mean?
You'll be bowled over if he does see it.
Well, this is it, you know, trying to explain to him and.
No, that absolutely. Parapsychologist is a different thing altogether. Which I agree with that, Cal. Yeah, absolutely. It's different. Parapsychologist, the study of the psychology of it, is absolutely different. And I think, to me, that's as interesting. The psychology of it is as interesting as the ghost hunting itself, as the topic of ghost hunting itself. It's interesting to see how people
that can go really deep into psychology, can't it?
But you're right. But I think the thing that amazes me, and you'll probably might appreciate this, I don't know, but is people that they say, I'm a parapsychologist, and you say, are you? And they say, yes, I am. And I say, well, what degrees have you got? Oh, no, I haven't got a degree, but what I've done is I've done a course on the internet. And it's like, no,
you're not.
No, it's not quite the same. No, exactly. Exactly. Cal does, but then that's your job, Cal, isn't it? You're a parapsychologist.
Might have to get Carl on and explain what he does.
We're going to get Cal on at one point, I hope. I think Viv was trying to sort it out.
Mm.
To have a chat with him.
That'd be interesting. What?
I read one. I've read one of your books recently. The Phone Calls from the Dead, I think it was, Cal. Very interesting. Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of it needs exposing. There's a lot of it needs exposing. No, thank you. It's a great book. Really interesting. Love it. But yeah, we'll if it's all okay, Cal, I'll try and get you on at some point if that's all right. When Viv's back and we can do a proper interview with you, that'd be fantastic. But
that'd be interesting.
Very interesting. But yeah, that's it. As I say, there are no experts on. There are experts that have studied in the field, like parapsychologists, but that's it. That's it. Nothing else.
Yeah.
Sort of, comes anywhere close to that. And I would love to be a parapsychologist, but I'm just not bright enough.
No, neither am I, mate, to be fair.
Yeah. Yeah. It's amazing, isn't it? It's I had a run-in with somebody years ago about the parapsychology courses they were doing online. They swore that it made them a parapsychologist. So just to wind them up, I think I told you this, didn't I? Just to wind them up, I went online and signed up to some church and I became a bishop for £10. And then I went back to them and said, look, I'm a bishop. They said, no, you're not. I said, oh, yes, I am. No, you're not. They said, I said, I am. And I told them it's Unified Church. And I hadn't even done a course. I just paid them £10 and they made me a bishop. And I said to them, you're as much a parapsychologist as I am a real bishop.
Yeah.
But yeah, it drives me mad. Self-professed parapsychologists. Unbelievable. I've done 2 courses and that's it. So so that's where we are now. Exactly, Terry. Exactly. I love my voice recorder. I love my camera. I've not caught anything on camera. I've caught a few good EVPs on voice recorder. I know you have as well, Terry. And we've always said, haven't we, you and I, when we've worked together and that, we've said that, your best chance probably would be for a voice recorder. If you're going to take something or use something, a voice recorder is my favourite piece of kit.
But when I caught when I caught mine, it was just out the reach. It was out the blue, I thought I'll take something. Like I've showed you the picture and it's like, I wouldn't expect that, if I had a bit of equipment, would it have gone off? Would it? Do you know what I mean?
Well, exactly. I mean, I've tried them all over the years. I've tried things like ghost portals and just nonsense. A lot of it's just nonsense. People may use them, and if they want to use them and they think they're great, fine. Who am I to argue with somebody else's choice?
Exactly, mate.
But for me, they're just a waste of money and time.
Yeah.
When you could be channeling that time into doing something a little bit more constructive, like sitting there quietly and just assessing,
chilling out,
the environment. But yeah, it's an amazing subject. And as I say, don't shoot me. I believe in spirits and I believe in ghosts 100%. But I'm not going to tell other people that they're real because I can't.
No, exactly.
And as I've always said, it's not the paranormal that I'm skeptical about. It's people's interpretation of what constitutes paranormal.
Yeah.
Some
it's a human being, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, people do have amazing experiences, and I've had experiences myself, but I'm not going to jump to the conclusion that they're paranormal straight away because I don't think you can. I don't think you're doing yourself or the field any justice.
No.
I think you need to scrutinize it. And once you've scrutinized it, if you haven't got an answer to it, then I wouldn't say it's ghosts. All I would say is that I can't interpret it, but it's something
I can't put a name to it or whatever.
No, yeah, there's something that's happened that I mean, I think I believe what it is, and I know what it is, but I can't tell you what it is
I
because
can't, because there's not enough evidence to.
I've got nothing to base it on.
Yeah.
And that's why you need people like parapsychologists and that to sort of be the voice of the even voice. Do you know what, Stephen? I use my iPhone now because a lot of phones they've got really good, clear, crisp voice recorders on them. But we were talking about this earlier, Stephen, and I'm going to go back to using a analog again. I'm going to go back to using like a tape one as well, because there's been some fantastic stuff on those caught over the years, and I think it might be time to step back and look at some of the equipment that we've used and put to one side for some of this new stuff. But voice recorders, I mean, I will use, I don't know, anything from kind of Sony, Panasonic, you know, just half decent one. Really, you don't need to pay a fortune for it. And of course, your phones are really good now. Yes, the real-time ones are pretty good, but yes, they are good, Terry. Yeah, I've had a couple of those over the years. I've still got one here somewhere.
Are they any good, are they, Dan?
Yeah, they are, because you, like Terry says, you put your headphones in and you can hear anything that's going on real time. I've just bought a pair of earphones recently that are it's sounding, I think it's sounding 3D. So you plug it into your voice recorder, and then you set it up. I've even got a polystyrene head that you set these earphones up on. And then what you do is, if you then do a vigil or you ask questions, if you do pick anything up, it will tell it picks it up sort of from all different directions. If you listen to it with headphones, you can hear it. If the voice is to the left of you, hear it to the left, to the right, in front, or behind. Yeah. So that's pretty good.
That's...
Yeah, I've collected stuff over the years. Do you know what? I've always said, Carl, I would love to get a load of paranormal equipment and just stick it in a museum, like open up a museum of paranormal research. And I think that'd be cool. That would be good. Not haunted dolls and stuff like that, or maybe, I don't know, but more like the tech that we've used over the years, like, you know, paranormal. You know, things like bells on string, which I still love to this day.
Yeah.
Stuff like that, you know. As I say, talcum powder, all that type of stuff. All those wonderful, wonderful things that people just tend not to use anymore. And I don't understand why, because they did used to proffer quite good results. But that's it. So, right, we've gone over, guys. That's it from us this evening. I hope you enjoyed tonight. As I say, do you, as they say. If you're happy, don't listen to me. I might be completely wrong. You know, do whatever you're happy with. If you want to spend money on equipment, spend it. Don't let me put you off.
Yeah, exactly.
But just for me personally, I'm not a big fan of a lot of it.
No.
I don't think it's fit for purpose. I think there's just gimmicks. If it lights up and buzzes, then it must catch ghosts. And it's not quite like that. I even saw a professional ghost hunter once on TV. He had a K2 and he put it on a table and he walked past it and it went off. And without even looking at what caused it, he automatically shouted out, "Ghost! There's a ghost here." He went, "There's a ghost here," because this K2 had gone off. But he also had his phone in his hand and he was right next to it. And it's like, and of course, I'm skeptical. So I'm like, well, have you really think that's a ghost? Or have you actually done that on purpose with your phone so that you can give some sort of false positive and then make yourself seem more credible? Better. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm very skeptical of a lot of ghost hunts, especially TV ones. Because obviously they need to do it because, you know, they've got to fill a program out.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's got to be seen to be getting activity. So, right, guys, if I've upset you with my opinions, I'm sorry. It's just me. You know, I'm not right. I'm not an oracle. I haven't got the answers to everything. And the answers that I've got might be completely wrong. So, you know, find your own way is the way I would suggest. So I think that's it from me this evening. Have a great week. Stay safe. We're back on again Monday evening, I think, Jamie.
Yes, we are, mate. Yeah.
We're back on Things on Monday evening.
Things Network.
Things
Monday.
Network.
And Simply Spooky on Wednesday again.
And then next Wednesday, and then Viv's back. So we can all have a chat then. Taxi. That's absolutely right, Terry. I had one going off years ago. It wouldn't stop going off. And they swore it was paranormal activity. And do you know what it was? We were right next to Stansted Airport. So it was picking up the
frequency from the tower.
Yeah, tower frequencies. It was picking all that up. And they were saying, oh, this is amazing. Look at this. This is going off. And I said, yeah, but look outside. There's a big airport there. And this is it. This is the thing, and people don't look on their nose. Not all of them. There's some good investigators out there. But you've got to be studious, and you've got to not jump to the conclusion that everything's paranormal.
It was a spirit.
A lot of the time it isn't. It's just people's interpretation. But that's not to say that it all isn't, because sometimes we just don't know.
Don't know, do we?
Don't know. So good night, everybody. Thanks ever so much for listening to us chat and ramble. And stay safe. Have a good week. And we'll speak to you or see you next week.
Soon.
Take it easy, guys.
Take care, boys. Bye.
Bye all. Bye.
Bye.